This is Nick with Bill Brothers Roofing at 2254 Brea, I believe Brea Ave. Starting my digital inspection, we always like to start underneath the eave of the house because the eaves will consist of your fascia board, you have your rafter tails, and then you have either your plywood or sometimes shiplap. So in this case, we have plywood for the eaves. But we can see we got a lot of wood damage that's going on this property. And what that's indicative of is it's telling us that the roof itself is not doing the job that it should as far as keeping water off the property itself. You see more wood damage over here. We always have a big leak coming from this section. And I also pointed out to the homeowner that we can see there's been some water coming through over here on this section as well. You can see even more up there too. So again, it's showing us that water has been intruding on the home. I'm gonna work up to the top here. We have an architectural asphalt shingle on this property. We have drip edge right here, but we can see that a lot of the shingles are damaged at this point. We have some old felt underlayment that's underneath it as well. One thing I noticed right off the bat is that this roof has a really low slope to it. And whenever you have a slope like this is about a 212, and you put shingles on top of it, we need to ensure that the proper underlayment is underneath this product. Because if we're just dealing with standard felt underlayment, what ends up happening is because it is such a low slope, you can see how the shingles will kind of start to curl up a little bit. And what that does is it doesn't allow water to flow as freely off the roof. It'll end up kind of getting caught on top of these shingles. And shingles are meant to have water flow off of it in order to ensure the proper waterproofing. The other thing you'll notice is that we have a lot of fiberglass that is showing through. So when we start to see the fiberglass show through, what that's telling me is that the oils on this asphalt shingle product have started to evaporate. And as those oils evaporate, the granules on the product will start to deplete. So every time it rains, those granules roll off. They end up in the gutters. You can see that the gutters are literally just filled with all the granules from the shingle itself. And then once that starts to occur, that fiberglass is exposed. The waterproofing is greatly affected. There are a lot of really soft spots on this roof too. Right over here, I'm going to show you. You can see how my foot really just kind of sinks in right there. Same thing over here, really soft spot right here. We got a leak that is coming right around this area. So what we're gonna have to do to repair is we're gonna have to remove these 4 solar panels. We're gonna have to rip everything off right here down to the decking. We're gonna replace whatever kind of bad plywood's underneath it, and then we're gonna take it back up around this section to ensure that everything is waterproofed. Now, the rest of the roof though, the homeowner is telling me that it was installed about 15 years ago. And this product looks to be around, I would say it'd be anywhere from 15 to 20 years old or so. But the problem is if the proper underlayment was not installed, because it is such a low slope, you combine that with the fact that we have solar penetrations all throughout, and there's a good chance that it's not going to last as long as it should. And that's kind of what's happening right now. And here's a good example of what's happening with these shingles. Is you can see how those shingles are starting to curl up. Here, let me see if I can get a good angle for you. They're starting to curl upwards. So whenever it rains, you'll notice that water ends up ponding in the shingle itself. You can see how dark that section is. That's where all that water just sits whenever it rains. So obviously we can go ahead and do a repair for this homeowner. We'll do whatever they want us to do. But in my professional opinion, this roof should be done properly, meaning that we should tear this roof down to the decking. We would then add a layer of titanium PSU 30 underlayment to this roof. That PSU 30 underlayment is a very thick and sticky self-adhesive product that goes directly to the decking. It's going to really benefit this roof because anytime a nail goes through, it's going to seal out that nail head, and it's going to help ensure the waterproofing, because if the water doesn't get it underneath these shingles, then it'll hit that underlayment next, and that roof will be properly protected. But I can see that there are going to be a lot of leaks coming from this roof for well into the future. They're going to be chasing these leaks for quite some time. So again, in my professional opinion, what I would suggest doing is tearing this roof down, adding the new underlayment, reinstalling new shingles, and we'll come back and put these solar panels back up. But if the homeowner is looking just to do repair, then we can go ahead and fix this section for her. That's it for my inspection.